Howdy, fellow Bart here, and welcome. Alright, as the title suggests here, we are going to take a look at free asset. Get the fuck off my screen. I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? Yeah, if you look in the marketplace, if you haven't already checked these out, and I've already had a couple of videos, you go to the marketplace on the Epic Store, scroll down a little bit, and every month there's at least 5, and I have seen as many as 10, but normally 5 free assets, free for the month. And I've done a video covering this one, and this one. This one for sure. Definitely take a look at that. You can never have too many animations. So they're decent animations. They're easy to work with. The other two videos, or the other video I did was with these two combined. And what I did was I did not use the mage character or enemy because I think it needs a little bit of a tweak to it. But I did put it up inside the environment from this right here, and it looked pretty cool. Not bad. Still haven't looked at this one yet. I don't know what exactly I would use it for, but I will take a look at it eventually. But this time we're going to take a look at footstep sounds with blueprint setup. And I've already got it loaded in project, and it is an add to project type of deal, so I do prefer that whenever possible. So we're going to go ahead and hit play, and of course we have a mouse cursor. Lovely. But you'll be able to hear it makes different footstep sounds on different surfaces. You can hold down shift and run, and it's based on the placement of the foot. So that's like water there, snow. Yeah, it's not a super hard thing to actually do this. Making it change the sound based on the material, there's a few different ways to do it. I'll show how this one was actually done. So one thing I did notice in here was there was a lot of unnecessary things added in. And listen really closely to this jump sound. If you've played Minecraft, you can probably pick up where that sound came from. It actually sounds just like this. Well, I just mentioned it. This is the from the marketplace. It is the footstep sounds with blueprint setup, and it is free this month. Like I said, if you go to the marketplace, you can either scroll down and you'll see them right here, free for the month, or you can click on free and free for the month here, and it'll show them there. So I recommend whenever you see these pop up, you can go ahead and click on add to cart on all of them, and then go through your checkout process, and it's free, so it's not going to cost you anything during the checkout process. But that's how you would actually find them and get to them. So I did a video on these 3 already, kind of combined into one video, and this is nice. This is a definite must-have, and this one is not bad. They actually have had an update since it came out. So, I mean, hell, they're free, so you know what? You can't really complain too much about the price on them. But again, the animations one, yeah, you can never have too many animations, so just grab them. Yeah. So it's kind of cool that you can hear the different sounds. Want to take a look at how it was done in here. But I will say also the jump sound sounds like it was stolen from Minecraft. The villagers, if you hit a villager, that's what that's what it sounds like. We got a footsteps widget. That widget is just well, not used because, well, you can see, yeah, I'm not sure what that widget was for. But it ended up in the root of the content folder somehow. So, the footstep sounds. Let's go through the whole list of things here. The blueprints folder, you get a footsteps character and animation blueprint and game mode. And the game mode, nothing really special to look at there. This is where they put a lot of the stuff in it. And yeah, I'm going to scroll out so you can see. All this was added into the animation blueprint to carry this over. And it's casting 2. So if you're trying to get this to work with another, like say if you're wanting to add this to your own asset pack, you have to keep in mind that it's casting directly to in this animation blueprint. You're going to have to combine all this stuff from their animation blueprint into a your blueprint, and then you're going to have to, okay, well, this is casting to the footsteps character, so you're going to have to find out what they've got in their player character and then drag it all over. And you're going to have to essentially take all of this and drag this into your animation blueprint if you want it to work, and whatever SRFC, you have a string there, and a surface, which is an array for physical material. And of course, these two are default from a normal third-person animation blueprint, is in air and speed. But you're going to have to make sure that you copy all this stuff over into the blueprint. So essentially what it's doing here is it's casting to the footsteps character. It's getting a reference from the footsteps variable, which is an audio component. It's telling it to play, and then it's calling another a Boolean variable and saying set Boolean parameter, step play. A lot of this seems like, if you ask me, going around your butthole to get to your elbow. So yeah, I mean, it's free. You're more than welcome to get it and take a look through it. Inside the player character that comes with it, on event tick, you've got Ismail, select color, and set vector parameter. I haven't seen anything directly in here that allows you to change your color for based on your gender. So this is definitely not necessary if you're adding it to your player character. This is just wasted blueprint space. Pawn walking cycle. Running this off of event begin play, getting a reference to a Boolean called player character or pawn character, which is right here. So if it is a pawn character, then yeah, okay. Kind of unnecessary, but okay, we're just going to follow along with how he chose to do it. Disable input. Well, if you're a pawn character, disable input. Yeah, this whole section right here, I'm not exactly sure what this was in here for. Yeah, there's nothing else up here. That's all default stuff, just moved in different locations. But I'm not exactly sure what these were in here for. They don't seem to affect anything. You do have footsteps, which is an audio component, jump in and jump start. So these are 3 audio components, and they were added in there. No sound attenuation, so if you're trying to run this in multiplayer, you definitely want to set up a sound attenuation for it so you have a radius of sound instead of just every footstep you make. If somebody's on the other side of the freaking map, they're going to hear it by not having an attenuation setting. Attenuation, if you don't know what attenuations are for sound, means that whenever this sound is played, if I fire a gunshot, then you don't want people 20 miles away hearing the gunshot. Or in this case, if I'm taking a footstep. If I take a footstep, if you're within 5 or 6 feet, you might hear my footstep, but after that, you're not going to hear it. So sound attenuation sets up a sphere of sound where it's going to be you hear it at full volume, and then there's an outer radius. It's kind of like it tapers off into where you can no longer hear it outside of that. So yeah, so a lot of this stuff that's in here in the player character is not necessary at all. Okay, if you want to add in the audio components here, that's fine. But if you look at the footsteps character, and this is where we're going to actually see what's necessary to actually run, you look at the animations. Okay, why would you look at the animations? These look like regular third-person animations. But if you look at third-person walk, you see something right here and something right here. Okay, I'm going to hit pause and we'll scroll it back to right there. What it is, those are reference points that you can put into your animation, and then you notice that his foot's hitting the ground there, and there is what it's saying is these are where he chose to put him in there, and they're not exactly right, but they're close. I would actually have put it right about there. So you're a little bit off on those. So what these are animation notifies. But when I click on these animation notifies, they're just marks. So I'm actually going to, and I'll zoom in here a little bit more so you can see the foot placement as we manually scroll through here. So from the beginning, foot touches the ground now. So that's pretty close on that one. And then the foot is hitting the ground now. So what an animation notify is going to actually do is set up a notification so that you can use that to actually do something with it. And you can actually, well, it says replace notify with, but you can see play sound and play particle effect. So you can actually use these to actually queue up your particle effects and your footstep sounds. So I'm actually going to go to the regular third-person animation blueprint that I have in here because I chose to do a sample project with third person. So it's going to be nothing here because that's idle. Let's see, walk. So same thing. I'm going to hit pause and I'm going to move around a little bit. So we can actually, and now would be a good time. So you right click and you add notify and get skeleton notifies, but we're just going to say play sound. Okay. You would think that it would be a lot easier to work with, but some things have changed during different versions. But that's our notify. That's actually going to be our tag for where we want our footstep to go. Let's see here. Asset details. Here's skeleton, parent asset. You got all this stuff in here. It used to be whenever you told it to play sound, it would actually come up over here. There we go, sound. And you can actually put down, let's see, these are all just sounds. Jump. I was looking to see if there was already a cue set up for footstep. And I don't see one. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make another. See, you get footstep sound attenuation here, but he's not using it. Didn't make a whole lot of sense. So sound cues, footsteps right there. So we do this and then hit that arrow. Now we have a footstep sound there. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. And we're going to do about right there. Add notify, play sound. And it copied the same one over that I've already got. So in theory now, it should play that sound every time we actually take a footstep. So we're playing footsteps cue. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now I'm going to go out of his map and go into third person, because Beeflabart is awesome. Let's actually take a look at his sound cue. Wow. Okay. There's a lot going on in his sound cue. He's running a random, a branch. Yeah, there's just a little bit more going on than needs to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'll change this over. I will create another sound cue. And that would just be sound cue. My steps. Gonna open it up. I'm going to drag it down to here because I want to be able to drag sounds in easier. Footsteps mono. And if you've ever messed with anything, why is there different between a man and a woman here? Just going to try ground 1 through 6. Did you go in there? No, there you go. So we're just going to drag those down to here. And I'm going to grab a random. And since I had all these selected, it automatically created the inputs for all of those in that random. That's a nice little cheap and easy way to do it. A random. You could also do modulator if you want. Modulator. What the modulator is going to do is set it up to where each time it plays that sound file, it'll make a variation of the pitch, minimum and maximum, so how high pitched or low pitched it actually is, and the volume level. So it'll adjust the volume level a little bit and the pitch of it. So even though we've got 5 sounds in here, it's still going to carry them over a little bit. So we use footstep sound attenuation and grab that, my steps, third person, and there. A lot less going on than what was in his. So, that being that, we've got the animation notifies here for footsteps and my steps. So let's go back to this one. Change this to my steps. So both of them are actually going to work off of my sound attenuation or in sound cue. We still don't hear anything. So let's go to my player character, which is the default. Now, we can add in a new audio component, and I'm just going to call this steps. Even though technically we already have this in the animation blueprint. My steps. Attenuation. Okay, you got really nothing in there. And it's only been changed just a little bit. So we've added in the audio component there. You see, as soon as we hit play, we heard the sound automatically. It just played it. And now it's not working when we make our footsteps. Why? Why is it playing it now? Because it's just playing it. So let's go ahead and turn on or off auto activate. So we don't want it to, as soon as we hit play, we don't want to hear that sound. So, never really messed with this before, but I think that the direction that he took on it was a little bit carried away. Go back into his blueprint and actually look also. Excuse me. It's not in there. It's in the animation blueprint. How it's actually checking to see what you're standing on is it's running a line trace based off of the actor location with a negative Z of 150, or a Z, yeah, subtracting 150 from the Z. That's getting your location, subtracting 150 for the end location of the line trace. And yeah, it's determining the surface based on that. And okay, lack of a better way of doing it, I wouldn't know. But the whole point of going through and let's close his stuff back down. You can actually hear it in here. So now we hear one. It's a good start in the right direction there of actually hearing the footstep sounds. Somebody asked me the other day about footstep sounds, and just kind of coincided with the fact that there's a free asset this month on it, and I've never done it before. It's nice to be able to add it in there. It adds a little nice touch to it. But so get away from the character, we don't hear it. We get closer, we do. So was it absolutely necessary to have that in there? Because we're not hearing it right now. But it is nice. So we'll close that down. We're not going to hear it in any of the other ones right now because we haven't activated that. Let's actually go back into it. Is that animation notify? Is playing the My Steps sound attenuation. It's got a volume on here, but notify color. So yeah, you can change the volume and pitch in here as well. But since I'm using the sound cue with attenuation, it's automatically handling all that since I've also got my own modulator on it. So, thought that was kind of cool. But for me, what is, this is all new, so I'll sit here and mess with it for a few minutes. But mostly what this video was for was a review on the other guy's stuff. If you want to learn from it, go right ahead. I said I would probably do it in a different way. See, by adding in the steps this way, auto activates off. Let's see. Anim notify. But it's a cast 2. I'm never really much on the cast 2 unless you got to. Add the node that breaks, or add the node that create an animation notify. As I said, I've never messed with these before. So, yeah. I will actually look at, and we'll do another video later, of actually making this functional based off of how we just added our animation notifies into our animation itself. But what I'll do is I'll go back into, like, run. You can see there's no sound here as well. So what I would do is pause it, go back to 0, slowly pan forward, and find the events where the foot's actually just touching the ground. So it's not really just touching here, it's actually, for that foot, it's right there. So what I would do is come in here, and this would be the first footstep. Bam. Right click, add notify, play sound, and I'm going to go ahead and set this one up as my steps Q. See there, we heard it. And I would do it there. Add notify, play sound. Oh, let's go back to it, and learn how to type your maroon. So now we hit play. We have footstep sounds with a basic attenuation. And like I said, I will go ahead and create another sample project, or I might even just come back in here and just keep working on this one. But actually come in here and actually set up a video where I'm specifically showing an easy way to quickly add them in. And we just did that of adding it into the animation. Because if you wanted to as well, you could do the jump end. So your feet are actually hitting the ground at this point. And right here we'll say add notify, play sound, and my steps, and hit play. There's only 4 frames in this, so it's going to sound a little bit weird right now. But the whole purpose of adding those in there is so we're adding the notify into the actual animation. So we'll come back in and we'll add that in. Whether we have to add it to the animation blueprint or what. But we will set that up and get that working. I hate the way this one's laid out. So, yep, we'll do that in another video. Like I said, I wanted to cover the actual footsteps asset pack that was from the marketplace. So, what I'll do is I'll set up a sprint feature in the my other blueprint. So it is nice having the footstep sounds change based on the material that you're walking on. But I think the way that this one was set up, there was a few little issues here and there, like, you know, if you're going to put out something on the marketplace, I think this one just kind of missed the mark just a little bit. And yeah, I'm not sure where he sourced his sounds from. Like I said, the jump sound sounds like it was stolen from Minecraft. Alright, so it's free. Get it, play around with it, screw around with it if you want to. But I personally don't think it's all that great. If I had to pay for it, I would be a little on the upset side. But that's it. He's got Bart in his name, so he can't be all that bad, right? Like I said, I still haven't looked at this one yet. I don't know what the point of it is. Character outlines and fill-in tagging system. Yeah, not exactly sure what it will be good for, but, you know, check it out if you want. One of the things that I noticed whenever I was looking at this one here, the footstep sounds with blueprint setup, it had all this lovely stuff here, but when you look down here, almost every one of the comments was to the effect of, can it work with first person with no meshes? Yeah, kinda, but if you don't have a mesh, you don't have feet, then what the hell's the point? You'd have to go about it a little bit different way, and you wouldn't be looking to add somebody else's asset to do something that's not what you want it to do. So I added the notified to the line trace, is working well, but I still can't hear any sounds. Pretty much everybody was having an issue, one issue or another. Can it also be made for multiplayer? Yes and no. Yes, definitely footstep sounds will work with multiplayer replication. And yeah, it's just how you set it up. So far for the month, we've covered all of them except for this one. And this one's pretty cool. This one, just go ahead and get it. This one, if you need the environment stuff like trees and rocks and stuff, go ahead. Nice looking stuff. Looks pretty good. The Survivor Vision Advanced Outline, if that's something that you're into, get it and use it. But this one right here, the footstep sounds with Blueprint, yeah, it's okay for the price of free, but if I had to pay for it, I don't think I would. But I do want to thank everybody for watching. I need to take a break for a little bit and go check on the fam. And I will go ahead and finish doing my version of a simple footstep system. And I may even do a whole fresh video, but, well, a whole fresh thing. But I think what I'll do is I'll just use this one because the footstep sounds are already in here. I've already added them to a couple of the animations. So I'll go ahead and finish it out, and I will do another video here in a little bit that is specifically for adding footstep sounds in manually that should work no matter what. Whether they're, it's kind of hard to test multiplayer whenever you're on the same computer. You don't have another computer to test it with. So I have no way of testing it in multiplayer whenever it comes to that, because you're only going to hear the audio from one window or the other. You can't have audio playing from both windows, even if you have two of them displayed. I could have 20 of them displayed, but you know what I'm saying, though. All right, take a break and come back. I will do it a little bit different way, a little bit easier way. It'll just be getting the footstep sounds down. If you want to create them for various terrains, there's about a half dozen ways of doing that too. So just ask me whenever I start the other video up on doing footstep sounds, and we'll just kind of play it by ear. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.